Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Better than beautiful.
Welcome, coming to you live from the studios of LA Talk Live in sunny Los Angeles, California. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more, and I'm your host, Alayna. We're here to talk about beauty and more in all its expressions every Wednesday at noon Pacific time. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
Searching love, I found it. Ended up with my heart and soul. About time that you know. If you just believe and see like I see, you'll know that the world is yours to own. Just follow my lead beyond material things. It's time to let you know you're better than beautiful.
Beauty magnets. Cleopatra's beauty ritual. Beauty magnets are a modern-day spin on an ancient beauty secret. Beauty magnets are a unique system of relaxation, revitalization, and renewal. Face and spirit reach a new level of balanced beauty, making you look and feel radiant. Tiny charged magnets increase circulation, promoting the look and feel of a natural lift. Face and spirit reach a new level of balanced beauty. De-stress your face with magnet therapy. Beauty Magnets of Beverly Hills, Hollywood. Available at www.beautymagnets.com. That's www.beautymagnets.com. Beauty Magnets, Cleopatra's beauty ritual, and proud sponsors of Alayna's Beauty Talk. Hey everyone, this is Richard Carr, Business Relations Manager for LA Talk Live. Did you know social media produces almost double the marketing leads of trade shows, telemarketing, direct mail, or even pay-per-click ads? And that about 46% of all online users count on social media when making that ever-important purchase decision. Hey, if you feel lost when it comes to social media, Top Tier Media can help you. Top Tier Media specializes in social media management and blogger outreach for beauty, fashion, health, and lifestyle brands. To learn more, go to www.toptiermedia.com. That's www.toptiermedia.com. Top Tier Media, the official social media marketing company of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network.
My heart and soul, about time that you know. If you just believe and see like I see, you'll know that the world is yours.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. I really have a pretty wild crew here today coming on my show. My friend Peter, who is sitting next to me, who's been an amazing inspiration to me, actually helped me put this show together today. When I realized when I was starting to book the shows in September that today was September 11th, so I'm like, okay, I don't really think I want to talk about putting lipstick on and eyeshadow on. I think, this is a time to, really think about, peace and, creating a better world to live in, healing, and any of you at the table join in. So that's what we're going to focus, a little bit about that. And I think towards the end of the show, we'll get kind of loose and it'll go in a different direction. But Peter brought his beautiful American flag today to put in the background. I'm not sure can they see it on camera? Richard said yes.
Nice.
And Richard, and Richard is our producer, and I'm going to invite you to come on since it's September 11th. If you really want to say something, if you feel like it, please join in. You have a mic. I didn't take all your mics away today. You have such an amazing voice, and this is also, your studio and your station. So if you feel like joining us, please do. Okay, so I guess we'll start. Are you ready?
I'm on.
You've
I'm
been
on.
ready.
I'm right
I
here.
have never seen you this wound up. Usually I go and I have a session with you and you're very calm, asking me all these questions or drinking tea of your cute little dog lying next to you on the chair. I've never seen you dancing, singing, lifting
Oh,
your
no,
shirt
come on.
up.
We were dancing last time.
You're
right?
always dancing, but
Yeah.
you weren't like so theatrical.
Well, all right, I'll introduce myself. This is
Yes,
Peter
you
Bedard.
are.
My name is Peter Bedard, and I am a hypnotherapist. My specialty is to help people who have chronic conditions find a way to heal, whether it's anxiety, whether it's alcoholism, or other drug addiction type of issues. And I really tell people that the big point of our work together is to understand that when people say you once an addict, it's going to be a fun show. When people say and put people in boxes and they say things like once an addict, always an addict, that is a lie. And that lie needs to be addressed and needs to be revealed, and that lie needs to be peeled away, because when we're put in those boxes, there's no room to grow and there's no room to heal. And today is all about healing. And we need to heal as a culture. We need to heal as a people. And we're going to get into that today and doing some work on some meditation and some trauma release and some other fun and deeply healing aspects of our lives. So I invited a couple friends of mine, two people that I really love and respect, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but here they are.
Hello, my name is Anana Moon, and I started out, well, I think like a lot of practitioners of various kinds, started out with my own healing, and that led me into studying yoga and meditation. I am a meditation teacher, and I have been for 22 years.
No.
That also, yes.
I can't tell. That's
I was
amazing.
5 years old when I
Right?
began. That's right. And that it opened this world for me in studying it and also teaching it. My intuition opened. I really consider myself an intuitive spiritual consultant, and I'm also a Kundalini yoga teacher and a Reiki practitioner. And my goal and the work that I love doing is helping people who are feeling blocked and they can't go forward in their lives, and they don't know why the world is happening to them, when the hope, the hope is, and the reality is that you have all the answers within you. And if you can get back to a place of living your life from within yourself rather than outside of yourself in what can be a very crazy making world, that centeredness connects you. So yoga is connection. So it connects you to not only your inner being, but it connects you to the universe and to other people. But coming from a place of centeredness and from this place of a deep spirit, deep mind, then you can unblock all blocks. You can find your forgiveness, like we're talking about today. And you can move forward with your life rather than staying in the same patterns.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I'd like to, if it's okay, to talk about when we're done here,
Right.
after this have to go through, but finding forgiveness. That's a very interesting concept.
That was something I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about today.
Yeah.
Okay,
wonderful.
well, let's let our guest at the end of the table who fluffed his hair before we went
Lovely.
introduce himself.
Alayna, I know this is about beauty. Your show is normally about beauty secrets, but I didn't know we were going to be telling my secrets.
I had to get you comfortable since you already have your own radio, so I had to throw a little punch in there.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you to you for taking a show that's about outside beauty, and nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, that's awesome. And turning it today into inside beauty. So I really appreciate it. And
Well,
my
all
hats off
beauty
to you.
but all beauty comes from inside
Ooh,
first.
and there you go.
There you
I'm
go.
a big advocate of that. I talk about that a lot.
There
Okay,
you
but
go.
now
So,
introduce yourself.
I am Filippo Voltaggio, and I'm here
Voltaggio.
as a.
Okay, let him get. Come on, we gotta let this guy talk. We're really getting on him.
I can't take it. I'll try this again.
We're gonna have to do some wound healing.
I am.
I've been wounded.
Why is everybody always picking on me? So I am Filippo Voltaggio, and I'm here.
The Italian.
And I'm here as a certified life coach and as a radio host myself of Life Changes with Filippo. So, interestingly enough, our show is about life changing, and this show, I feel already is going to be life changing for many people, to help them look at today and what happened 12 years ago now in a different way. And I can't wait to get onto that subject because I think I have something very different to express.
I do. And you said you were in New York.
I was in New York, way too close, and I saw most of it live. Like, I only saw one tower fall live, and then I started running like everybody else. So, yeah.
So you have a totally different take on it than we did watching it on TV.
I do. Maybe because I was there, but maybe because of the way I always see I always try and see things from both sides, or from as many sides as possible. And I've seen something from another side that if it's time, we can talk about it now. Is it time?
You ready?
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm ready.
Shall we?
Let's
Then
do
go
it.
for it.
Absolutely.
Jump on in there.
Well, having been there right in the thick of things with smoke and dust and crying people and running people and myself running right along with everybody else, I also saw later on, when we couldn't get into the subway trains and we couldn't get onto boats or anything, we couldn't leave the island. There we were stuck, some of us, and I was one of those people that were stuck. And I was there with a friend, and her and I at one point were walking around the deserted streets, no cars, no buses, no nothing except people walking around. And there was a lot of crying, there was a lot of wailing, and it was scary, ugly stuff. At the same time, there were strangers hugging each other and just consoling each other. I remember my friend and I walking into a store, and people giving us, the store owner, who is an Arabic man, giving us free food, like anything you want, take it, and just saying, are you doing okay? And how are you? And I'm already a fan of New York and always have been. However, there was this love, this peace in the midst of all this craziness, this compassion that was being expressed. And then we'd watch the TV, and there was all of this horror stuff, and we'd get scared again. And then we'd walk in the street, and there was all this scary stuff, but at the same time, these people, we'd walk up to just strangers, and we'd just hug. And we'd just talk, and we'd cry together, and it was and touch each other. And it was one of the most beautiful things I think I have ever seen in the midst of one of the ugliest things I have ever seen. And the sad thing, I think, is that on television and how I've seen it talked about ever since, is we talk about the tragedy, and it certainly was. The other side of it was that in that very moment, for a brief moment maybe, but throughout the world, almost everybody in the world was sending love and prayers and compassion to America. And everybody was together, and maybe never in the history of the world, at least with internet and TV and all that, has everybody been truly one. And so, yes, on the one hand, forgiveness. Yes, on the other hand, we don't want it to ever happen again, of course. But hopefully we won't need those kinds of reminders anymore. And maybe we can start focusing more and more and have gratitude that, hey, we saw what that felt like. We felt what that felt like. I want to tell everybody it felt amazing. And maybe we can, I feel it right now, actually.
It's good you're reflecting on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it felt amazing. And we can feel that. And if we feel that more than the hatred, like at the very least, let's bring balance towards it and say, well, there was also this.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to somebody yesterday about doing this show, and one of the things that came up in that conversation was about, oh, well, isn't this causing more problems? Isn't this re-traumatizing people? Talking about it, bringing it up again, isn't it sort of ripping that scab off? And I said, no, absolutely not. And they said it was like ripping the Band-Aid off, and I said, well, the Band-Aid needs to come off. And there was a shift in the psyche of New York City, and I think there's a shift in this that's happening in the world as well. And there's a backlash to that shift. But in New York went from a place. I've only visited New York. I never lived in New York. But in visiting New York prior to this experience, it was a place where people were very standoffish. I remember in the 80s when you went to New York, I was always warned not to look people in the eye.
Right.
Do not look anybody in the eye. If you look somebody in the eye, they're going to accost you right there on the street. My girlfriends used to always they'd have cute little dresses on, and they'd wear ugly, big, heavy coats over their dresses. After 9/11, there was a shift that happened in the city. And that stopped. That behavior stopped. And New York became this place of, and there's lots of other reasons to go along with it, but it became this place where it really became, instead of individual barrios that were just sort of all about those groups, it became a real unified city.
See, that's what I want the world to be.
Exactly. And so the question
There
is,
was
how do we do
oneness,
that?
yeah.
Oneness, exactly. How do we do that without having to tear down a building, without having to drop a bomb? And because we're in that place again right now. We're absolutely in that place again in this very moment, where the United States is working as this individual police force. And what about the rest of the world? You know, what about the rest of the world coming together and creating a solution together? I don't know what the right answer is, but I do know that when we come together and we talk about these things and we don't dismiss each other, then that oneness can exist even in disagreement. And that's such a powerful thing. And so that forgiveness is super, super important. But how do we do that? I mean, I know how I do that.
Well, everybody has to do it in their own way. You know, there is no answer to that. But everybody has to be grateful for what they have and be kind to your neighbor. Be kind. Try and do something really good for somebody and yourself every day.
Yeah, and it's a big question.
For me, it is so much about consciousness or awareness.
Those are good words.
Everything that you're describing. See how you don't have to study yoga or you don't have to take classes. What you were describing for me, coming from meditation and yoga, is that in the moment of all of that crisis, suddenly people went back to their essential soul selves. I'm often talking about the unlimited, but it is the unlimited self, and the unlimited meant and means, you know, that in this moment, nothing you're wearing matters, no role you play matters. It's just you and I. It's just, how can we take care of one another? How can we work together? How do we survive and sustain? It comes from a place of love. And you were talking about chaos and destruction, and I was feeling how peaceful that actually was for you, the experience of peace. And how then do you take that from a chaotic time, because we can't live in chaos and crisis consistently? It tears us down. It wears us down.
That's
how
a
do we
current
take
problem.
It? Yes.
Yeah,
how do we
the
take
psyche
it?
of the world. We're living in that chaos. We're living in that on
Moment
the
to
edge, always. You know, I call it the subconscious, that high alert type of area. We're living in that subconscious high alert, and we're walking around like that. And that needs to stop. We got to take that filter of trauma away. We got to heal it. Yeah.
We know the studies of what adrenaline can do to the body when it's long term. It's only meant to be for a short period of time, but look what it does to the body.
But as a
It's
planet,
destructive.
we're walking around
around.
in this.
We all need your teas.
Well, and I didn't bring them today.
Oh my goodness.
I could ask somebody to drink their Serenity tea.
There you go. Just calm down.
Ask our world leaders to do that right now.
This reminds me actually of a parable of sorts, and I don't know the full story, but I think it's so perfect to what you're saying, Inanna. Can I just say Inanna, or do I have to say Inanna Moon?
No, you do not have to say, you can say
Okay,
Inanna.
Inanna, all right.
I am.
Do we have time for it, or do we have to take a break? Okay.
No, you'll hear music when we take a break.
Oh, okay. Like the Oscars.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank. So supposedly there was a king who wanted to put in his palace a painting of tranquility and serenity and peace, and so he put out to the artists of his kingdom that he wanted an artist to make a painting, and that the winning painting would hang in the palace. And so at the very end, after he saw all the paintings, he picked two, and of the two he couldn't decide which one. And he put them both in the palace, and he asked his guests to pick, and in the end he picked one. One was of a tranquil lake with the moon shining on it, and you could see the radiance of it and all that, and the trees were not moving. The other one was of a storm happening on a lake, where there was a tree that was blowing in the wind, and you could see that there were waves on the lake. In the end, the king chose the one with the storm to represent peace. And everybody was confused as to why he would choose that to represent peace over an actual tranquil lake. And he says, because if you look in the tree, there is a nest with a mother bird sitting on its egg, taking care of her young to be born. And he says, peace is not when everything around you is peaceful, you are peaceful. Peace is when you can be peaceful even though everything around you is in chaos.
Exactly.
That's one of the
Absolutely.
best
Absolutely.
I like
analogies
that story.
ever
I've never heard it.
I've
and
never
I'm gonna
heard
steal
it,
it from you.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I don't know where
I
it
think
came
I'll use that.
Well, actually,
And
you
by the
guys,
way-
this will be on YouTube,
Yeah, right.
and it'll
Oh,
be
there we
live
go.
on YouTube.
Oh, there'll
so
be
you-
evidence.
We
There'll
can,
be
we can all
evidence
use
of
it.
And by the
All
way,
use it.
eggs hatch.
I said about
Just
to be
fed you.
born.
Yeah, right. They hatch. About to be hatched.
Not
Hatched,
born.
not no.
Oh, the
They're
baby
not
was the
birthed.
baby bird was
They're
about
not
to be born.
birthed.
No,
No.
okay,
No.
hatched. Oh, right.
Okay, now you got to change your story.
Can we take two? Can we record that again?
Start over.
I love that.
Okay.
That
no.
peace is so cool, though. That being able to find that peace in that chaos. That must have been. I mean, you could see that experience on you, in you, when you talk about it. And, I relate to that sort of experience, too, because when I was slammed into the back of a semi-truck and my healing process, although I was very angry about it, there was a deep sense of stillness that sort of swept over me in that process of learning how to walk again and doing all that kind of stuff. It was part of that inner strength that I don't know where it came from. The only thing I can attribute it to is it's something I've carried around with me now ever since, but it's that gift that came from the tragedy. And I think that's where we need to focus on. Instead of focusing on why these people did, well, it's important to know why, but instead of putting all of our attention on those types of things and this penile, punishing, sort of abusive way of living, right? I think we need to really change that up.
How?
Well, meditate, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
First, my
Lots of
answer is
different
always
things
first.
in
It always comes down to personal responsibility.
Why did you have one headphone behind you?
I have
It's
sensitive
fashionable.
ears. I have sensitive ears.
A new
never
trend.
seen-
And I did that all the time. I do that. The last couple times I've been on the show, I always have
Oh,
one
you
on.
weren't sitting
If I
next
do
to me.
this, I feel like I'm in like a can. I don't want to.
Oh,
That's why we
okay.
call
I
them
just never
cans.
seen
And
anybody
It's
do
one to the
that
side. That
before.
way I can hear your
Peter in a
natural
can.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah. Wouldn't that sound interesting? Yeah. Yeah. I've been accused of being a Peter app before. Because I always seem to have an answer for everything, which is not necessarily a good quality, but I've been accused of being a Peter
dear.
app. Yes.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Oh, app. I couldn't
Yeah,
say
like
that
an
instead of
No, an
Peter
app.
at.
An app.
Apps. No.
Yeah,
App.
now I heard it the second. Maybe I should take one of my
Opposed to
headphones
see
out.
if you You could hear. There you go. You could hear better, right? There's no.
Let me ask a quick question. Have you
Me or Peter?
Well,
You're looking at both of us.
Don't I get the answer?
It's the royal you.
you. I'm looking at you.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
My hands and my mouth aren't connected. Actually, I'm all of us is when were we born this way? Did we have this consciousness? Well, the answer is probably yes. But were we aware of this consciousness when we were kids or when we were young adults? Because
Yes.
I wasn't.
Interesting. At what age were you not? When did that stop?
You know, I would say about 15 years ago is when I really started talking this talk and walking this walk.
Kids, though, will do this naturally.
Right, and that's
Children
let me
will.
take the
Children
kids away
will.
because
Yeah.
children. Let's
Okay.
go into young
A
adulthood.
young adult.
and
Okay, so
adults.
when we get those
Is this
filters
what
put
you
on
were
ourselves.
talking and doing as a young adult?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay.
No.
It's what I wanted to do, but I was kind of a freak.
Okay.
so-
And the reason I ask this question is because Alayna, you're asking a really good question. How do we change the world? And you're saying well, there are a lot of ways, and you're saying the same thing. But what I'm saying is that we already did. You see, you did when you did, and you did when you did, and we didn't have you before, and we didn't have you before, and me and you,
Okay,
and we're
so
here
now
now.
I have.
agree.
How do we connect all these people?
We're
We're
so
here. You
that
just
we,
did.
We're doing it
yeah,
now.
well, we're doing it now. We're doing it on through this radio
Right.
show, but we have to continue. It just
Yeah.
can't go for 90 minutes and then go
Turn
back.
it off and-
Sustainability.
It doesn't. You mean
Yeah.
when you leave
And
here,
you
are you a
carry
completely
it.
different person?
I hope not.
No, I
But
think
that
you carry
happens.
it. I think you carry it with
But we
you.
have to
Yeah,
bring
it's
other
with you.
people with us every day. We at least try
Yeah.
and get more people to stay healthy, think healthy,
Yeah.
act healthy.
Well, it's why we do what we do. I mean, it's why
Yeah.
you've
Absolutely.
created your beauty magnets and your grandma wears makeup and you're doing all that kind of stuff to bring that goodness so that people can walk around in it, literally walk around in it.
You are the living example of all of your experience. And I, again, coming from meditation and silence, and I've witnessed how a very peaceful person in a room of chaos can bring that room to peace. You don't have to say anything. You live it. But then there is also coming into action and having shows and having classes and working
And
with
it's a
people,
discipline.
too. So
It's a discipline, absolutely, because I get that
who you
all the
become.
time. Yeah. I get that all the time with people. I feel good when I'm in session with you.
Right.
They
Yeah.
say that all the
But
time.
then I walk out the door.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I'm all about addiction. So, when I get people who, they're sober with me. But what are they going to be like that night? What are they going to be like the next week?
Next week.
And one of those big things is, what are those practical steps? What are those absolute things? Because we get into trauma mode, and that trauma will bully the brain, it will bully the heart. Trauma, that instinct to survive, right? Whether it's the fight, flee, freeze, or hide, whatever one of those traumas are, that trauma will overwhelm the intellect and it will overwhelm the heart. And the heart may say, oh, I want to love everybody. And the head might say, it makes absolute sense for me to love everybody. But that gut says, I am so afraid of the other. They're not like me. And that fear just trumps everything. It's the core of racism. It's the core of homophobia. It's the core of everything, right? So it's that trauma type of issue that we need to get at first, so that people then can walk around in the peace, so they can really, let that peace really shine through. But if it's being hijacked all the time by that trauma, and that's, again, back to the 9/11 thing, there are still people walking around. I had a guy about 8 years after the 9/11 experience who hadn't slept for 8 years, and really, truly hadn't slept for more than an hour or two for 8 years. And we were able to knock out that trauma for him, and he slept like a baby ever since. But if you're walking around with that filter of, I got to run away from this, or that filter of, I got to hide, or I'm going to freeze, and that's that protective type of thing. So the practice is what I'm all about. I like practical. I like to get. I like to.
give
very
us,
I always.
you
I want
always give us all these things
It
you
has
have
to be.
do.
It has to be
But
practical.
yeah, because if you don't practice, you forget, and
You're
you
not
go
going
right
to-
back to
yeah.
the way you were.
Yeah, Exactly.
And
Good
that's
point.
what we're trying
I hear
to...
music.
Hear music.
Do you want to sing us out?
Yeah. Give us a
I brought a song actually.
Oh, yeah, we're
we
gonna
can,
look
we can
for
do
it.
that.
Oh, wait.
Richard's saying, "Hold on." I'm listening to Richard. He's the man.
Un momento, por favor.
All right, before we go to Ray, Richard, you want to come on the mic for a second? No? Okay. Anyway, that is our music. Is that you?
No, it's not me. I like it though.
Okay, so this is our break music, which we've been
Richard's
talking
always
about.
got great good music, man.
Yeah,
He
you
rocks
love
it. I
the
love his
music,
music.
yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
get his playlist.
All right. What are we going to talk about when we come back?
Being practical about how to create forgiveness,
Choice.
compassion, and
Peace, happiness, joy.
but how to embody it physically, practically in life. I think that's.
All right, well, they
is that a
just
good
set it
direction?
off.
Everyday,
There you go.
everyday life.
So
Yeah.
when we come back, we are going to talk about all of that and more, because I know we never stick to our scripts here. So stay tuned, everybody. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
Breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far.
You are now tuned into LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is Richard Carr, Business Relations Manager for LA Talk Live. Did you know social media produces almost double the marketing leads of trade shows, telemarketing, direct mail, or even pay-per-click ads? And that about 46% of all online users count on social media when making that ever-important purchase decision. Hey, if you feel lost when it comes to social media, Top Tier Media can help you. Top Tier Media specializes in social media management and blogger outreach for beauty, fashion, health, and lifestyle brands. To learn more, go to www.toptiermedia.com. That's www.toptiermedia.com. Top Tier Media, the official social media marketing company of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network.
Journeys is an organization that embodies and captivates women from all walks of life. Our membership includes 44 women that are constantly growing in the areas of personal development and community involvement. Monthly, we offer free leadership classes at McKay's Restaurant. Journey aims to inform women in the areas of heart disease and HIV and AIDS. Experience the journey now by logging into www.journeymosaicinc.com. Toll free 888-906-5519. Journey with no excuses.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. We're getting a little rowdy. We're having a good time on September 11th, and that's kind of what I wanted people to do too. I mean, yes, I want you to reflect and remember where you were and how far you've come in these last 12 years, because I know my life has completely changed for the better, but I've worked very hard at it too. So, I mean, change takes a lot of work. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to change and expect it to happen. You really have to work at it every day.
You have to commit.
You have to commit.
Yep.
Yes.
It's just like, I'm a walking coach and a trainer, and I've had, a couple clients like, okay, I don't think I'm going to continue. I don't see that I'm losing any weight. And well, if you walk 1 hour a week on the weekend and you keep eating the
Yeah.
same food, and then it's, it's not my food.
Yep.
It's a combination of everything.
Everything.
And,
And
people
healing
think-
is a combination of everything too.
It's a lot of work. To change your life for the better is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's fun work.
Mhm.
You know,
I think it is. Yeah, it is
I've
fun.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been hard, but I've really
Even if
enjoyed
I've been
it.
crying, it's like, okay.
I
well,
love this.
You know what? I really am enjoying this.
There are days
I'm
that
changing.
Absolutely.
It is. You do cry.
Yeah.
You do.
It's
you
a great
do.
release.
You know, you
Mhm.
do
This is
cry. I've had,
interesting.
I've
But,
had some
yeah.
plenty of panic attacks.
Planic?
Panic.
Planic.
Panic.
Pranic attack. Oh, that's
Pranic?
interesting.
I like that. Yeah, pranic attack. A pranic attack.
Pranic
A
attack.
pranic. I've had a pranic.
An attack of breathing.
having a pranic?
There we go.
Yeah.
Those are not fun.
Those are good.
Those are not. No.
But they.
No, but an attack of the breath of fire, that'd be great. I mean, walking
Oh.
around breathing the breath of fire all the time. I can't stop.
But the breath of fire actually is. Speaking of yoga.
just how I threw that right to you.
Why, thank you.
Do you know anybody that could talk on that for us?
Yes, like, breath of fire actually is being in crisis in some ways. Now, when you're in crisis, usually you do a lot of shallow breathing. You're up here. Breath of fire asks you to come
Guttural.
from the navel. Yeah,
Mhm.
down. Talk about gut practical place. But talk about adrenaline flowing,
Mhm.
and it pulls everything into motion. And the thing that's changing in the Western world where yoga and meditation and so forth is concerned is that it's just a nice stretching physical practice. The point of the yoga asana, so doing all the stretches and poses and holds and everything, is that it puts you in uncomfortable, compromising sometimes places. It brings up your issues, your fears, the difficulties in you. So
The monkey brain.
you're calling yourself into a kind of crisis, perhaps, so that you also find not only with that in your mind going, oh my God, I don't think I can hold this pose. I don't think I can stay here. Why am I even doing this to myself?
Chatter.
Yes, exactly. All your chatter. You then your deeper self that already knows its piece says, wait a minute, I think you can hold longer. I think you can sustain. I think you have the tools to do this. And you actually, you and your yoga teacher are helping you find the tools it takes to go through whatever crisis is going on in your brain.
So I you know me, I'm all about practical. So we threw out something there, but I want people to really understand
Yes.
it. So a practical way to relieve trauma, pain, stress, even anxiety issues, whatever it is a process called the breath of fire.
Yes.
And the breath of fire, can we do it?
Yeah, of course.
I look to our headmaster.
You can do anything you want
So-
on my show.
So,
Play
because
loud.
again, because we want people to, on this very momentous day, we
Yeah.
want people to laugh, we want people to release and reflect, but also to really let go. And the breath of fire is really about letting go. And in my work, the lungs are where we hold our grief. The lungs are where we
Yes.
hold that grief and that sadness, and breathing through this, using this breath of fire work, is a way to really release that. And that's so powerful. So will you show us? Can I ask that?
Sure.
I mean,
are you
yeah.
going to do it?
May
I'll do it
I?
with you.
Do you want to
May-
do it?
yeah, I'll do it with
All
you.
All right, you guys
It
do
looks
it.
a little silly,
It does look a little.
but
Not
it's
sure.
fun.
Filippo and I will hold down the table.
Well, what's interesting is, we talked about energy and that person in that room that could make that room, that person who finds their peace, who can affect the room.
Affect the room.
Right?
Yes.
Well, the same thing when that person is in that breath of fire thing, the energy really moves in the room. It
Yeah,
really does.
It
Yeah.
does. It raises energy. The breath of
Absolutely.
fire.
It's okay. All right.
All right, we'll watch you guys.
We'll watch
You can
I'll-
join in. You
I
can join in. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
Sit,
But
have a Mai
somebody,
Tai,
I mean, are we going to be talking or are we going to have dead air?
No, there's going to be a lot of huffing and puffing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
You're breathing.
It's very, very audible.
Oh, it'll be like when Patty comes in and I make her do that.
She does that
yeah,
big old,
I
that
always
release.
make her. So yeah, my listeners are used to
Are
that.
used to this? Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay,
yeah,
all
because
right.
when Patty comes, I always make her do that.
Well, and people can tune into the YouTube, right? And they can watch what this looks like as well.
Sometimes
Oh,
our
tremendous.
YouTubes get blocked because of the music for some, but it will always be up either YouTube or Ustream.
Ustream, okay.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Sometimes we have trouble on YouTube,
Oh,
but not
tremendous.
always.
All right.
All right, let's huff
All
and
right,
puff and
so-
blow this house down.
That's
So you're
right.
actually-
Blow this
you're
Oh, we
grief
got
out.
brick walls.
Huff and puff and blow this grief out.
There you go.
You're
There you
actually
go.
focusing at your third eye point or looking up. It brings positive energy. I'm sure Peter too can just explain as you roll your eyes up to the third eye point what that does for you. But you're going to first pump you can put your fingers at your navel and pump as Peter is doing.
Can you
and
hear me?
pump in and out.
Yeah.
But you're breathing not through your mouth because that does cause more anxiety. You're breathing through your
your nose.
nostrils. And it's just a short breath, but it goes all the way down to the navel point, and then it blows through your nostrils. So you're
It always gets like a tingling and a cool sort of cold tingling in my nose and in the back of my neck. I love it.
It's almost like a runner's breath.
Yes,
Kinda, yeah.
yes. Notice what
Mhm.
it's doing to your upper back and your shoulders, and that you may even identify with any stress you hold in your shoulders and neck, and it's actually causing you to relieve it.
And I feel that when this happens, I get that experience in the back, like the base of the skull, the back of the brain area, that where the head meets the neck, and that's our reptilian brain. That's our real primitive brain.
Right.
It's the part of the brain where we often hold trauma, and it's like we're oxygenating that part. It's that
Are
reactive.
you supposed to stop and start your breathing?
No, just keep going with it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just talking, so
No,
you know,
no,
yeah.
I'm
But you
gonna-
guys
I'm
can
not-
you can support us.
I'm
keep breathing.
supporting
Yeah.
you. I'm
Keep
watching.
breathing.
'Cause it's
So we
hard
hear
for
that
me to
huffing
come-
and puffing still.
So are you going to do that throughout the rest of the show?
Yes.
No.
until we
I
faint.
I
No,
had a
that's
breathing coach come on, and she used to
Nice.
do
a
this.
pranic breathing coach.
I
or
forgot
something,
what.
so, okay.
Yeah, she would come on with a Reiki teacher.
There you go. And so you can even feel it might connect to your excitement or your adrenaline or
Oh,
your
it's conscious,
you know.
connected
But
breathing.
then when you stop breathing, also
There's this rush.
there's a rush.
Yeah, you
Yes,
felt it?
That's right.
Yeah, I wish
And
I.
that's-
That's called Kundalini, folks.
That is, that's
that
the
actually
Kundalini
is.
worries
That's-
and-
yeah, it just rises. It's the energy we have in
Rising.
us, and it rises up through us, and it brings peace.
I got
into
my
the
Kundalini
physical
on.
form.
You did,
Yeah.
man. You did. Doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
And I hope people are out there who are
got
going to be
my
commenting on all that.
Kundalini.
I
'cause,
hope so,
Let us
and
know your feedback
and
on
let
that.
us, yeah, and let us, and can you do this? Like every morning, do you get up and do this?
Yes.
What's
that's
your
part of the
ritual?
practice.
What's your ritual in the morning? I mean,
My
not going to
ritual-
take an hour.
No,
does
no,
it?
no, 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 no.
Will you show us right now?
Yeah.
You show us
Yeah.
exactly what you.
But
Well, I
a
walk
brief-
around with a cup of tea.
Cup of coffee.
Tea, not coffee, tea, right? No coffee.
No,
no
it's
coffee.
tea. It
Okay,
Do
is
you
good.
tea.
drink
So I
coffee
should-
in
I
sometime?
I do because
Oh,
I like coffee. No, I will. You know
I'm
what?
a real
I will
housewife,
be
but I won't.
honest
I
about
like coffee
it.
too. I have
like
one cup
coffee.
a day.
I like coffee, and I drink it in the morning. I don't
Yeah.
drink it in the evening.
Okay, it's my challenge.
Yeah.
I
You
do
guys are
that.
my challenge. I'm
Uh-oh.
converting you to tea lovers.
Are you
I
trying
love
to-
tea.
I
I'm converting
love
you.
tea.
I love tea
Right.
I
too.
love tea.
I love
I
tea.
have
and I go
a
through
tea.
periods of no coffee and only
Yeah.
tea, and I have certain morning teas that I absolutely love.
Well, I have a black tea that is so caffeinated, it's awesome. But tea gives you a different kind of caffeine than
does.
coffee, so you don't get a crash from it. And it's smoky, and it's got old-fashioned chicory in it. It's so good.
No, I would love that, but
Mm.
there's just something the smell of
Yeah.
coffee.
Coffee. I think that's it.
I think
And
a lot of that,
and
so you
So, yeah,
have your
routine.
tea and your
so
coffee.
I'm having actually I just really before I practice have a good big glass of water, frankly. and then I sit and depending on my day I either do sit down and I meditate, and I usually do some yogic warm ups, some stretches and so forth, and it's more for me though sitting and connecting with myself. I do long, slow, deep breathing. Part of my stretches, though, would be breath. Going with that would be breath of fire. And sometimes for balance and just to bring myself back to peace, especially if I've got exciting things and a lot going on, I do alternate nostril breathing. It's so pretty. But I come back to center is what's going on, and I wake up by allowing myself to recognize I'm part of the all, part of the universal good. Yes, because my mind the mind is part of meditation, and the mind's function is to think. I'm probably also going through the things I need to do during the day. Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm smiling.
You're pretty far away from your mic.
Right, because I was listening.
I know
make
that
yourself right at home.
I know that I go through a list of things I'm doing through the day. If I'm doing too much of that, I have chants that I like to do that also brings me back to calm and centeredness. And when I'm done within a half an hour, or I go somewhere also, I go to a Kundalini yoga center, and occasionally, not that much at this time, but occasionally I will go to a center where they actually do an hour and a half early morning practice. And all of that is important, and all of that is a sustaining, continual work. Daily.
That's beautiful. And you talk about, feeling part of the all and part of the one. And I can say that listening to you describe that, Inanna, I feel like the world is a better place because she's doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I don't do that, all of that, but the fact that she does makes me feel like a part of us is doing that. And we each have our piece of the puzzle, and we each do it in our own way. Actually, before the show, we talked about Sharon Stone producing and being in this movie, Femme, Femme. And to be honest, I didn't want to watch it. I honestly thought it would be like man bashing. Honestly, that's what I thought. I had my prejudices, I guess, and I didn't want to watch it. And because I'm consulting with Yekra, who's putting this film out, they said, could you watch it? Don't make me do this. And I watched it, and I couldn't stop watching it. I was happy to be watching it, and I saw all these beautiful women from all parts of the world come out and say how women need to be in their power, and how they need to do what women do and bring the beauty that they do. These are my words, but as I understood it, bring the beauty that they bring along with the beauty that men bring, and together we're in this together. And I thought, this is so beautiful. Every woman, every man needs to watch this. So that kind of thing. I mean, so I mentioned Yekra, the other shore, Diana Nyad, right? She just swam from Cuba to Florida. And it's like, what an inspiration that not only did she do this, but she's a woman in, I think she's 60.
No, she's going to be 64.
64, right?
And that's why everybody was focusing on, well, this old lady, 64, there's no age limit on what you can do. You only put that on yourself.
Yep.
And she kept trying. Exactly. She kept trying, and she did. Actually, she tried it 4 times, and we can't see what happened this time. But ironically, the film The Other Shore actually went along with her during one of the attempts. So you get to see the experience.
I was reading her story.
And
I think her first
too.
attempt started in 1978. She's tried it for over 30 years before she achieved her goal.
At the age of 64.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
But, I'm up there. I'm right there with her, so I usually don't say that.
You're a swimmer?
No, but I work out every day at Gold's Gym.
She works out.
Yeah, I work out with the doc, actually.
Okay.
We run into each other every so often at the gym. But, yeah, I do work out every day. I do something every day. Most of the time I'm at the gym. Yeah. But I do a lot of walking. That's my big thing is walking. Because everybody can walk.
But I just want to mention why I had mentioned that.
Because
it's apropos. No. I just
back.
Before we go into something else, is that here is Sharon Stone doing this film. I can't do what she does. I'm not a woman. I don't have her fame or her fans. But she's doing it in her way through this film, Femme, right? And Diana Nyad is doing it her way, inspiring her way. I'm not a swimmer. I can't do that.
But you do.
But I do what I do.
Through life coaching and whatever
and life
else.
changes with Filippo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And aren't you affected in a positive way by the work she does?
Absolutely.
As well?
By both. I told you I didn't want to watch the film.
I
didn't want to watch it. Yes.
I'm glad I did.
It sounds like we have a challenge.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
So we're putting a challenge out to people to find their way to create a better world. Find their way to create peace, no matter what age you are, no matter what ethnicity.
And it doesn't have to be boring, obviously. I mean, look at Diana. That's hardly boring.
Right? And if we don't want any more 9/11s, then we all need to take responsibility.
That's exactly what
and
I
create
wanted
that.
this show to talk about.
Yeah.
Is finding our true potential. I mean, sometimes we have to go through these awakenings. You know, we
Yes.
always have,
Yes.
you know, we go through life saying, "Oh, I should have done this. I should." You know, you just need to at least try,
Well, just do.
or just do.
You just do.
Just do. Don't try.
Just stop. Stop
do.
trying. Just be. Just,
Just
do.
do.
Yeah.
Do.
Do. Do.
That
Yeah.
Do what that
no,
you
never
do.
mind.
Do.
I'm not going there.
You do so well.
No.
I know this summer I had the Glee summer
You
campers on,
do
you know, and they were all from age 7
something
to 17. And one of
me.
Cassandra, who runs the camp, who owns the camp, I mean, she would not allow the word can't. She would not allow any of these kids to use the word I can't. They always would say, I have to try. You know, and if kids learn that at an early age and take out I can't do this, then I think this will be a better world. And
Yep.
we as adults
Yep.
should do
Yes.
that too.
And I'm going to the best of my ability.
Yes.
Is even better than try.
Yeah.
I'm going to the best of my ability. Today I'm going to live my best day possible to the best of my ability, no matter what's happening, no matter what I'm surrounded by. That's my goal today. To live the best life today. No
That's
matter
good. To
and
live
being
the best
angry.
life
Yes.
today. You
And
got to
being
shorten that because people won't remember the whole long one.
right.
just-
But being angry is sometimes part of living your best life.
Yeah, it's here for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's got to be
yeah.
felt and it's got to be processed.
You can't be happy all the
It
time.
can't be negated. Yeah, it's gotta
Yep.
be. It's
Well,
part
we
of-
look
part
for
of
these
it.
kinds of experiences. Like look at haunted houses. How many people flock every season, holiday season, to go
Exactly.
to a haunted house? And then they freak themselves out on the way in, while they're in line, when they're in there. And you know, it's funny, we talk about like we are these souls having these human experiences, right? And or in a human body having human experiences.
Yes.
Well, if we really are these souls, maybe it's like the souls a desire to go to a frickin' haunted house
And to be scared.
and to be scared, right?
Yeah.
But now here we are in the soul's adventure of this haunted house, and it's like this moment is like, if we get freaked out by it, it's like being in the haunted house and saying, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, look at all these things.
Get out of
This
the
is it."
house.
Yeah, just walk out of the freaking house.
put me- Yes, right. Who
Yeah,
put
it's like
me
you
here to
chose
begin
to
with?
be
Yeah.
here. And maybe if you choose to be here, or you recognize that,
Yes.
maybe you can look around saying, that scared the shit out of me. That was good. That was really good. That really scared. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm shaking. Okay, yeah, you did good. You did good. You know, and this experience, this scared me. Yeah, but I'm a soul having a human experience, and I maybe chose this.
Absolutely.
Yes, choice.
Or just, you know,
that
like
was
even
what I-
people going on roller coasters.
A roller coaster, great
coasters,
example. Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, why did I do this? My contacts went flying out of my eyes. You know, and then you think of those 1 in a million that get stuck.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know, it's
Or
like-
yeah,
Right.
I was in line at the roller coaster when I was a kid, and someone got killed in front of us,
Oh my.
and
Wow.
it
Oh
happens.
my.
Wait,
And-
the person got killed in line in front of you, or
No, in the car, approaching in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in front of us.
That's that difficult thing to talk about. So you've chosen to go into the haunted house or to be on the roller coaster. What if the terrible things or scary things that happened to you in real life that you weren't expecting, didn't want to happen? What if you were also choosing or allowing yourself to be part of every single experience that goes on in your life?
Absolutely.
There it
And
is.
in your community
Mhm.
and in the world around you.
Taking responsibility.
Families.
Absolutely. So this is a great example of 9/11. I live in California. As a performer, I was in Connecticut the 2 days before. I didn't have to be in New York on 9/11. And I'm in New York a couple times a year, and it just happened on that day. So what if on a higher level, I chose to be part of that experience? So maybe
So- in
I could
some way,
then
yes.
share on your show
12 years later.
this experience from a whole different perspective.
Yeah, which I'm grateful for.
And I'm grateful to you.
So that's an interesting thing too. I'd like to go into. I also want to know your forgiveness thing, but because that we brought up earlier, there was a how to forgive, not learning to forgive. You said something, a phrase that was really great. But anyway, so I wanted to go in.
I'll remember that while you're talking.
You remember that in just a moment. Pause for a station identification.
It's coming soon. Richard just came back.
But
It's coming soon.
that's that gold in the garbage that I really like to address with people. This whole 9/11 thing and even our current political system, there's a lot of garbage going on. And so my personal story is that being killed and going through all the pain that I had all these years and having to heal myself of arthritis and asthma and fibromyalgia and anxiety and depression, all that kind of stuff, right? That's the garbage. Now, how do I take that and alchemically transform that? And that's the gold. And for me, all of that pain, all of that crap is now my gold. And it helps me relate to people, it helps me share, it helps me heal, it helps me help other people heal. That is the gift of that garbage. And it's so important to be able to tap into that gift. What is the gift that we get to give from this experience that we went through culturally? What is this gift that we get to give? And hopefully it's transforming.
The gift we received that we then get
Exactly. This gift of this pain that we get to then transform and transmute into a gift of healing. And can we as a culture now give that gift to the world instead of a gift of animosity and what we've kind of been reactive to?
Another war.
Right? How do we now give the gift of our understanding and our healing?
Yes.
But you got to heal first.
I love that, Peter.
That's the gold in the garbage.
I love that. The gold in the garbage.
The gold in the garbage.
Oh, the gold in the garbage.
The gold
Okay.
in the garbage.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
gold we take
great.
out of that garbage.
And after having interviewed so many people all this time, at first since the show's Life Changes with Filippo, I was looking for life changes. Like, I wanted to hear people's problems. Like, what happened to you? Like, tell me the gory garbage, right? Tell us that. I want to hear that. And I got to the point where everybody has a story. Every single person has a story. But not everybody did something with it.
Exactly.
Except they keep telling their story and complaining about it, right?
You just keep getting more of that.
And you get more of that. And deeper and deeper.
Which is what we're doing societally.
So now I'm getting to the point where, we all have that.
Another
Tell me
story.
what you did with it.
Exactly.
I want to know what you did with it.
Yeah. We
How
get
did
it backwards.
How did it change you?
your
Like,
life?
what
Yeah.
are you
How
doing
did it
with it,
change?
right?
Yeah.
Yep. We tend to get it backwards. We focus all on our story and our pain, and we just we put 80% of our attention on the pain and 20% on our wellness and our healing. And that's got to switch. That's got to switch psychically, communally, societally, even personally. It's got to switch. We have to now say, okay, well, that's my past. Great. I'm done with my past. I need to understand it. I'm going to put some attention to it. I'm going to work through it. I'm going to let it go, right? But a majority of my attention, I'm going to put on what's next.
And you're teaching, that's what you're saying. How do we do that? We're allowing people to see that we've been out of balance in what we focus on.
Yep.
Yes, right.
So what if we
some
focused
reason,
on our
but
breathing?
if you look at television shows, reality shows, and every drama that's ever been, every novel, we love the ones that have all the crisis. That's what
Sure,
we're
because they're
talking about.
fun.
They're fun.
But we love those when
So-
they have when they have a
why
solution.
Isn't peace fun? Why?
Peace is
Well,
fun.
we have a
Peace
hard-
is absolutely
we-
fun.
I
It's
agree.
prosperous.
I agree.
It's
I'm thinking of clients who have said, well, I want to work through
Move up to
these-
your mic.
I'm sorry, pardon me. Okay, that I want to work through the issues that I'm dealing with here, and I'm angry all the time, and relationships aren't working. And then you start to work on a particular relationship, and they say anything but that relationship. I
Yeah.
don't want to heal
Anything
that.
there
I
but their
don't see-
biggest teacher,
But they don't know
their
that
biggest
they're
lesson.
saying I don't want to heal. They're
Yeah.
just saying I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to go
'Cause it
there.
hurts.
It hurts.
be brave.
It
Talk
hurts.
about it. Go there.
Right.
If you so whoever's listening, if you want to keep that going for a long time, you want to keep that hurt, you want to keep that pain, you want to feel it for the next 10, 20 decades, whatever it is for you. You want to keep that hurt, then you keep ignoring it.
So no, you have that choice.
Yep.
It is a choice. You're not stuck there. No one's keeping you there.
Yep.
You're deciding, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not moving from this painful spot.
Yeah.
Or you can stop and say, wait,
I so don't
wanna be
want that
here
anymore.
I'm
Yeah.
done with this.
Therefore, I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about it. I'm
Yes.
going to let it in. I'm going to let it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. This is a really good place to stop and have everybody give out their websites
All right.
and their phone numbers, because if people are interested, I want them to know how to get in touch with you as Richard calms us down to go out.
Actually,
to
that's
break.
my song. That's
Okay.
I love
nice,
this song
Richard.
by
Okay.
Richard Voltaggio. Yeah.
All right. So can we play the song and go out to break? Okay. Peter, give out your website and your information.
So should I talk about Alive and Healthy?
Anything you want to
Okay,
talk
so
about.
if anybody's interested, this coming weekend in Long Beach on the Queen Mary from the 13th, 14th, and 15th to the 15th, there is a wonderful wellness and health fair that's going on in conference. It's called Alive and Healthy Cure What Ails You Conference. It's really amazing. I'm actually speaking there on Sunday the 15th at 12 noon. Come hear me speak. I'll be talking about addiction and anxiety and how to heal those things in our lives. And we got a couple of pairs of free tickets. So if anybody wants to go onto my Facebook page, go to peterbedardhypnotherapy.com.
Better spell that.
Yeah. Go to Peter Bedard, B-E-D, like what you sleep in, A-R-D, Peter Bedard Hypnotherapy. If you look that up on Facebook, you can go to my website as well. But if you look Peter Bedard Hypnotherapy up on Facebook, the 10th person that makes a comment on my page will get those free tickets. So comment away, get out there, guys, and I'll give you those free tickets. Tickets are only $25 for the weekend, and if you do not get those free tickets but you want a discounted ticket, go to the Facebook page as well and we'll get you $5 off, and I'll tell you how to do that. So I hope to see you guys all on Sunday. Check out peterbedardhypnotherapy.com. And if you're interested in the teas that we mentioned instead of that coffee stuff, if you're interested in that, go to createyourhealth.com/store and get all those good healing teas and herbs and spices.
Can we keep going, or do we have to take a break?
Thanks, guys.
All right. We're going to take a break? Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, and Anna will give out her information, and then Filippo will give out his information, and the song that you're listening to.
When the Children Cry.
By you.
I didn't write the song, but I'm singing it and produced it.
Okay, so we're going to take a short break. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live, for more than just talk.
Let them know we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, then a new world begins. Little child, you must show the way to a better day for all the young. As you were born for the world to see that we all can live in love and peace. No more presidents, and all the wars will end. One united world under God. When the children cry, let them know we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, then a new world begins.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, this is Richard Carr, Business Relations Manager for LA Talk Live. Did you know social media produces almost double the marketing leads of trade shows, telemarketing, direct mail, or even pay-per-click ads? And that about 46% of all online users count on social media when making that ever important purchase decision. Hey, if you feel lost when it comes to social media, Top Tier Media can help you. Top Tier Media specializes in social media management and blogger outreach for beauty, fashion, health, and lifestyle brands. To learn more, go to www.toptiermedia.com. That's www.toptiermedia.com. Top Tier Media, the official social media marketing company of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network.
Journey is an organization that embodies and captivates women from all walks of life. Our membership includes 44 women that are constantly growing in the areas of personal development and community involvement. Monthly, we offer free leadership classes at McCade's Restaurant. Journey aims to inform women in the areas of heart disease and HIV and AIDS. Experience the journey now by logging into www.journeymosaicinc.com. Toll free 888-906-5519. Journey with no excuses.
Hey, this is Richard Carr, General Manager for LA Talk Live and host of the New Entrepreneurs Weekly Summit. I wanted to take a moment out to welcome one of my newest sponsors, and that is Sensational Soaps. Sensational Soaps are handmade with all natural ingredients, with absolutely no preservatives, no harsh chemicals, and of course, no animal testing. Your body will look and feel silky, smooth, moisturized, and completely revived. Do you suffer from dry, ashy skin? Then layer your skin with their luxurious blend of oils and shea butters specially formulated to revive dry, dull skin. Sensational Soaps also offers a full line of bath and body products, including luxurious bath salts and body scrubs, massage oils and lip balms, even romantic gift sets and custom gift baskets for your lover or significant other. For more information or to place an order, visit them at www.scentsationalsoaps.biz. That's www.scentsationalsoaps.biz. Sensational Soaps. Pamper yourself and indulge your senses. Sensationalsoaps.biz. Proud sponsors of LA Talk Live and the New Entrepreneurs Weekly Summit.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. This has been an amazing show, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to talk, well, Richard just got us a little riled up here. We were calming down. I guess Richard thought we didn't have enough energy in the studio. We're going to talk a little bit more, but I wanted to do some different meditations because they're some of my favorite guided meditations. We have 3 of some of the best people here that do guided meditations. I do still listen to yours.
Oh, great.
And Felipe, you actually have a CD. Is that on your website, a CD out on innovation?
Actually, we do, and it's not released yet, but we do have one on our homepage at lifechangesnetwork.com. lifechangesnetwork.com. On the homepage, we have something we call Imagine Visualization. And actually, I'm wearing my Imagine shirt today. This is inspired by the artwork of John Lennon, and it says Imagine right here. I don't think the camera could catch that, but you want me to try it? Okay. Can you see that?
It's really hard to see.
It's hard. Your hair's in the way.
That
you
hair.
Get your beautiful hair in there. You just wanted to show off your hair.
And now you've seen the back of my head. But in any event, it's actually it's words by Dorothy Donahue. It's music by Marco Micinato, and I'm the one that reads it off. So I think we're going to do a little bit of
We
it
are.
now, but if people go to
In a
Life
minute.
Changes Network, they'll see the whole thing.
It's lifechangesnetwork.com.
Right, lifechangesnetwork.com, and it has images by Janos, who is an artist out of Sweden, and then it's all been directed by Ken Sheets, and he put it all together. It's actually quite beautiful.
Okay, but before we do that, you need to give out your
To
website.
let you know, okay.
If people
well,
want to get in touch with you or have a session or do some yoga, whatever, you do a million things.
They can contact me on www.inanamoon.org.
You better
and that's
spell Inanna.
Thank you. INANNA moon.org. You can find me at Alexandria 2 in Pasadena. I am teaching Kundalini Yoga now at Golden Soul in Los Feliz. I'm going to have all of this. This is all on my website. And I'm about to begin working and have my own office at the Center of Well-Being in Sierra Madre, where I will teach yoga, but also have more one-on-one sessions and teach meditation and help people through whatever they're going through, but tools for walking through whatever they're walking through.
Mm-hmm.
But do you do sessions with
I
life?
do.
So you should talk about that for a
do.
second.
You know, it's one of the most rewarding work that I do. Actually, all my work is rewarding. This in particular, to be one-on-one with somebody and just be part of their transformation. Yes. And you know, Peter was mentioning something earlier that I like is people say, oh, I only feel comfortable or happy when I'm with you. And I get that with clients too. It's like, I feel safe with you. And this is the only time I feel safe. And since my work is focused on finding our true essence, and I call it finding our I am. Who are we? And though we seem like we're different people in different times of our life, we're always who we are. And wherever we are, there we are. Mm-hmm. And it's who is that? And who is that that's showing up all the time? Because people say to me, you seem to do so many things because you heard me singing. And yes, I still get in front of large crowds and I sing, and invited, of course. But I mean, I do concerts. But the point is that I feel like I don't do anything different there than I do in my life coaching or that I do on the radio show, because I'm singing about the same thing that I'm teaching about, that I'm talking about on air. It's always about love. It's always positive stuff. The stories I tell are positive. It's almost as if I'm always doing the same thing. And so,
same with him.
Exactly.
Peter
so
does the same thing.
I've
been going to Peter. He's totally changed my life for the better.
Here.
Love that.
Exactly, right? So whether I'm with my
you.
nieces and nephews and I'm on the floor playing, or whether I'm in a meeting with adults and I'm being a consultant or whatever, if I'm not who I am, then I'm not showing up as me. So that's what I focus on in my life coaching sessions. And so to latch on to what Peter said, I say to people, this is your real essence. What you're feeling right now, this is your real essence. Talk about changing the balance, right? So when you're out there and you're not feeling this, remember this or think of this and try and find this in whatever you are.
Anchor into
doing.
it.
Anchor in
Yes.
it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You all teach
That's
the
true.
same thing, just in different formats.
Well, isn't that true for all
That
healing? I
would
mean, that's
pretty
true
much
for all
be it, yes,
spirituality
yeah.
too. You know, we
Yeah.
try and differentiate and create the other all the time, whether we say I'm Christian or I'm Catholic or I'm Buddhist or I'm whatever. It's all, to me, that's all crap. Sorry if I offended anybody. But it's all about the essence of it.
It really is,
And
yeah.
that is that oneness and that connectivity and that
Right.
spirit. However you need to understand it, great.
It's just different voices for different people.
Yep.
They're just
Yep.
teachers
Find
for
your
whoever's
understanding.
out there.
Mhm.
I guess whoever
yeah.
we connect, 'cause
Right.
each person connects differently with each
Yep.
with
person.
each person, right? Right.
All right,
exactly.
we only have 14 minutes left. So, do you want to do?
That went fast.
This show goes so
Sure.
fast.
Can't
Do you
believe
want to do your meditation? And because you've done a couple.
Sure, the
Is it-
trauma stuff would take about 10 minutes. So why don't we do it another time, or I could do something offline, or I don't know.
Well, let's start
Want to
because
see
you
where
do,
we go? Okay.
Let's let Filippo start because you've done a
Yeah,
couple.
absolutely.
So we get something new in a different voice.
Okay, well, we won't get to do it all, but again, if you go to lifechangesnetwork.com, you'll get to hear the rest of it.
So
'cause
can
it's
you do
about
it in
4
about
minutes,
4 minutes?
But it's
Perfect.
Oh, you want the whole thing? Okay.
We got 4
to do it all.
minutes.
Oh, all right. Very good. Okay.
Now, do we have to close our eyes and
You
do?
can just listen. It's words by Dorothy Donahue and music by Marco Misinato. As the divine child of God that you are, remember that you are the co-creator of this thing called life on earth. Know whatever you imagine, whatever you visualize about your life will become what your life will be like. Because tomorrow is what you believe, think, feel, say, and do today. You are the power in your world. Imagine everyone, including yourself, your family, your friends, all people of the world, merging with their higher selves, their God selves, and living, loving, and co-creating from their I Am presence. Imagine what your life will look like if all of the good you have ever wanted for this planet is now manifested. Imagine all world leaders, heads of corporations and organizations coming into alignment with their higher selves and living and leading from their I Am presence. Imagine how good it feels to have people of integrity running every country, city, store, corporation, and organization exactly the way that it is in the highest and best good of all concerned. Imagine these people to be everything that good people can be. See them implementing policies and changes that you desire. Imagine a world full of people taking personal responsibility for the creation of our new world. Imagine all of the people living in peace. Imagine everyone in the world sharing all of the wealth of the planet. Imagine clean and renewable sources of energy and modes of transportation for all people. Imagine every human being as healthy, happy, and wealthy. Imagine the earth being healed and revitalized. Imagine clean air and clean oceans.
Keep going.
Imagine a world filled with peace, because the entire world population has remembered that peace must first come from within, and that love is all you need. Imagine that everyone on earth has all of the skill, knowledge, courage, wisdom, and strength they need to become the positive changes they wish to see in this beautiful world. Imagine your life filled to overflowing with all of your highest and best good. Imagine forgiving everyone in your life, and especially you, for all real or imagined sins. Imagine that you are filled with love and approval for yourself, and that you are loving yourself without any conditions whatsoever. Imagine that you are unconditionally loving to all, that you only attract unconditionally loving people into your life. And imagine your personal relationships are filled not only with unconditional love, but with support and understanding of who you are and who you have come here to be. Imagine,
I love this.
Imagine that you are filled with love, and imagine this love expanding and expanding and expanding and beginning to encompass all that is around you. Imagine loving yourself enough to always do the things you know you need to do. Imagine yourself embracing your magnificence. Imagine living a life filled with joy, peace, and bliss that comes from being loving, peaceful, and joyful at all times. Imagine accepting that you are indeed the divine child of God, that you are capable of doing, being, and having anything you set your mind to. Imagine you being surrounded by helpful, surrounded by love, and surrounded by guiding people. Imagine being a joyful, passionate, and mutually beneficial relationship with your divine complement and with everyone on earth. Imagine that every day, in every way, your life is better and better and better. Imagine being so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Imagine great personal success for you and the ones you love. Imagine always being happy and grateful for all things. Imagine living from your heart and not from your head. Imagine a life free from worries, illness, jealousy, grief, pain, and shame. Imagine being courageous and fearless at all times. Imagine always being impeccable with your word. Imagine never making assumptions and never taking anything personally. Imagine that you always have more than enough to do all that you wish to do. Imagine that the light within becoming so bright that you are a beacon of light to all who see you. Imagine all of your present and future dreams manifesting. Imagine being paid large sums of money for doing the work you love and have passion for. Imagine an abundant bank account filled to overflowing and always being replenished. Imagine that you are debt-free and you have more money than you can ever possibly spend, even after you have shared so much of it with those less fortunate than you. Imagine how easy life is once you remember to be a conscious co-creator. Imagine, imagine, imagine. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. See it, feel it, breathe it, believe it, and pass it on.
Wow. I love guided meditations like that.
That
When
rocked.
is that was
That is-
amazing.
that's amazing.
I didn't even want to stop you. People don't get to hear enough of that. Now this will be up on my
Ustream.
page, Ustream. Hopefully it'll get up on YouTube and you can listen to it. When will this come out in publication?
Right now, actually, we've had tens of thousands of hits already on YouTube, and they can see it on lifechangesnetwork.com. There are about 5 other visualizations that go along with this that will be on a CD soon. So
people will be able to purchase it.
yes, eventually soon. We'll put the information on our website when it's out, and it'll be on iTunes.
Exciting.
That is exciting.
beautiful.
It's beautiful. That's hard to do, to read it like that. You did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
Have you practiced that a lot?
I've gotten to read it a lot, and thankfully the first couple times I actually cried. I mean, it's like just imagining it, and it reminded me of, oh yeah, I don't think of this often enough, do I?
No, that's why I wanted you to let the whole 4 minutes go, because people are listening on iTunes and they have headphones in it, and I'm hoping that one of those sentences will really register with them and help change their life, because they don't get to hear things like this enough. I mean, because we really have to search it out. It's not brought to them like today. It was brought to them. You brought it to us, and we shared it with everybody.
Courtesy of you, thank you.
Lovely.
So that's very exciting. Oh my goodness, we got a few more minutes. Peter, you want to add something? You're never without words.
Just because it's today's show, I really want to encourage people to understand trauma and letting go of that trauma and really working on bringing their energy back into their heart. And I think that's what your words just did, Filippo, too. It's so important to have that. It's so important to come from that place. And so when we can really understand, hey, you know what? My head is saying, I don't want to do this behavior. I don't want to have this experience anymore. And the heart is saying, I want so much more. I don't want to be tight. I want to be open and wide. Understand what that trauma might be at that base. Look into that filter that you may be now, because of something that happened to you, whether it was the 9/11 experience, whether it was being bullied, whatever it was. Look at whatever that experience is instinctually in you that is trying to keep you safe, that is trying to keep you safe, comfortable, and familiar in oftentimes the misery of your past and your pain. And really look at that, understand that, and let that part of you know that that experience is already done.
That's what you've been teaching me.
Yep. Let that
It's
part
over with.
know. Let there be like a little recording, a looping in the body that just says, it's already done, it's already done, it's already done. So that you can then take back your life. And you can live your life from, instead of that instinct that was bullying the heart and bullying the head, it can go from a place of the instinct that's now working with the intellect. Because when you combine instinct, right, that knowing, that just sense of knowing your truth, and you combine that with your intellect, your logic, your reasoning, your consciousness, and then when you combine that with the heart, and you combine passion and joy and compassion, and you bring that into that instinct, man, you're unstoppable. And we all need to live from that place of unstoppable love. Let that out. Let that shine.
All right, Alayna, do you want to give out your final thoughts? Because we're going to have to wrap up this
Certainly.
show.
All right. One of the tools that I like to give and like to remind people of is that throughout your day, you can take a break to stop and get yourself centered and regroup. In some traditions, it's called traffic control, but it's just that time out, and you can sit at your computer. You don't have to do anything wild, and
Like the breath of fire.
like the breath of water, exactly, the breath of fire. But you could sit at your desk, your computer, and you can just take a moment. You can either close your eyes or you can fix your eyes on a point of light. On a point in front of you somewhere. I always say have something on your desk, a crystal or something that brings you joy or happiness, or just takes you out of maybe a grueling, difficult thing that's going on with you in that day. Maybe you're going to a meeting soon, and you're really going to have to bring out difficulties and troubles, or you have something you've really got to express. And you want to be in your creative place in your center, and you can just take nice deep breaths. That whole thing of putting your hand to your navel center, and just take 3 deep breaths, just slowly in and slowly out. If you do nothing else, that's wonderful, and that's grounding and centering. But you can also say some things to yourself. You could take something from Felipe's meditation, just take a phrase or something and make it an affirmation for yourself. Or you can just say, I am a being of light, of love, and peace. And whether I feel it in this moment or not, let me connect with that. You can continue to breathe deeply. I am in this body. I am here for all the reasons I have wanted to be in this life, doing all the things that I am doing in this present moment. And I am at peace. I bring my gifts to the world. I enjoy this experience. I enjoy and am learning from all of those around me. And let me come back in from whatever has taken me outside of myself and come back to my heart center. breathe deeply once again, and smile, because smiling is a yogic expression, actually. It is an asana.
Wow.
And it affects everything in the being, and it goes right through the throat, the lungs, into the belly, and you're back present with the world.
Why does everything go through our belly?
We could talk about that, but
The show's over.
I could address that, but I was trying to keep my mouth shut. So.
I figured you'd chime in. All right. Everything was so peaceful till then. All right. But it's a good way. Thank you all for joining us today on this really special September 11th show with all my new friends at this table and old ones. But thank you. And I need to tell you what's coming up next week and then let everybody give their final thoughts. But next week we have a very important show. I have the American Heart Association coming back in. We're going to be talking all about women's heart health. We're going to have a cardiologist and 2 people or 3 people that have women that have survived heart attacks. And so, I do about 2 or 3 of these shows a year just to bring us back and remind us, because the holidays are coming and we start to get busy. So I wanted to get us heart healthy for the rest of our lives, because it's really important to me and to everybody, because we forget. And Richard, you pulled the mic out. Yay!
Well, you wanted me to speak on your show.
I do.
And I got to tell you, after listening to this show today with Filippo, I am giving up my voice career. What a voice that guy has got. I have sat here and learned so much just listening to him command the microphone.
Respect.
So respect due, homie. Right. Respect. There you go. Word. That's all I got.
Oh, you want to say anything about September 11th? One quick word.
What a memorable day for me. I remember waking up in my apartment when I owned Cafe Mac. And by the time the 3rd plane had hit the Pentagon, I was waking up Petrushka to say there's something very serious going on in this country. It changed things so dramatically. But I got to relate to you, Filippo. That was the first time in American history, and at least a long time in American history, where people turned to each other to depend on each other. One is the loneliest number, truly is, right? So it changed the world. We learned to depend on each other, to turn to each other, to seek each other. All the answers are within. So I love that part that you brought up today. Always big stuff to you, Tim. Nice stuff today, man. We got some teas. We're about to brew in some
Peter's teas.
Party.
Right, Peter's teas. Talk about that a little bit. We don't have any fancy dippers for the tea, but we definitely got some coffee filters. They work very well. And my sister, very good stuff today.
Oh, thank you.
Alayna, what a great show.
And I have a funny story, right? 9/11. That day I changed my name, my company to Beauty Magnets, and 3 months later I met you and I bought my first computer from you from Cafe Mac.
That's right. It changed the world so much, but we've become so much better human beings as a result of it. Made us realize we're all human and we all need each other. I always say, who picked their color? I didn't pick this color or height or these looks or none of that stuff. I just got lucky.
And you guys can't see him on camera.
That is definitely the
hard on the eyes.
All right, Richard, why don't you take us out?
All right, so you've been listening to a wonderful episode of Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. Now I flip to Filippo.
This has been amazing. Thank you, Alayna, and thank you, Richard. Because of the 2 of you in this show, we all are better people today. Thank you.
All right, that's it. We're wrapping the show. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
That's awesome, right? Let's dance. Yeah.
Dance us out. Yay.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.